That's a really good question.
I thought about wearing it, bling.
Wrestling's pretty good. Thank you. Anyone else?
You roll with the punches.
No, thank you.
I love to hear it.
Frank Castle is in my bones. Frank Castle is in my bones.
Like, you know what? I can't look at this thing.
And the things that I saw in him and that he saw in me, too.
I think this series, especially this season, is doing something so revolutionary that people actually don't know, I guess, how to handle it. Is they've taken the main character and it's very hard to see redeeming qualities a couple episodes in.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, when guys were on hiatus, were you getting some messages that this might happen? Were you seeing scripts that surprised you that this was going to happen?
Well, the scripts were written, and we were at the table in March of 2020. And then all of a sudden, the very next day, they said, yeah, I think we're all going to go home, but only 8 weeks. And then 3 years later, so they rewrote them. I think they scrapped most of it, rewrote them. And we only got encouraging messages like, are you healthy, Henry? Are you all right? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of yourself, sir? I said, yes, I think I am. Are you eating right? Yes. And then we started doing this this season, and I honestly think it is the most intense work I've ever done since June 30th, 1970.
I remember a couple of years ago, I talked to you right before you were going to start filming, I think, before the pandemic. And you said Bill had texted you basically what you just said: take care of yourself. You're going to have a lot to do. And yes. I remember talking to you at the time.
He didn't tell me that I was going to run as much.
So I remember at the time you were like, am I going to be chasing him with a gun? Is he going to be chasing me? And then we see early in the season, you have the gun in the office. And I'm like, all right, here it is, a big firefight. They're going to be after each other all season. And what happens? The gun falls apart. It's just amazing.
It was very funny. The crew, the first take, the crew lost it. And, we are really an incredible family and very supportive. You're doing well. The dolly grip, Mary, has a viewfinder, has a screen attached to her handlebar at the end of the dolly. And when you've done a good job, when she just knows when the scene clicks, she taps the screen, and it's almost inevitable that they say, moving on. She's got that touch.
I thought that scene where the gun falls apart was another great example of something really unique and revolutionary this show does, in addition to what is happening with the main character, in that the balance between comedy and drama, you never know what you're going to get, and it kind of always feels right. I'm just in your career, have you kind of ever seen any show like this that touches both and uses both so well?
No, this is really wonderfully unique. I have been in some incredibly funny situations, some intense situations, but never a blend of what life is like. I mean, people are very funny and then they do the craziest things. I memorize the script the night before. I go in, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I'm in charge of the material. And then Bill and or Alec take me on a journey that I never envisioned for that scene. And then hopefully I get where they want to go.
Have you ever seen anything like, or experienced anything like you're seeing with Barry this season, kind of like I touched on before, where, I mean, you take an actor like Bill that's very likable and very talented, and then you get to the character, there were redeeming qualities. and then I guess now he's done things that there's no going back from. Have you seen that kind of, I guess, bravery or taking a chance in writing of a main character?
No. I have to honestly say no. Bill and Alec are really very individual. They are very different from each other. They are great collaborators. And it is always a surprise for the cast. And then this year was really sad because we never saw each other unless, Sarah was coming in for makeup to do a scene after I was finished. And we crossed Darcy. I got to hug in the parking lot. Stephen Root, his car was parked next to mine. That's how I knew he was somewhere on the lot.
When you first get the script and you see that Barry's basically making Gene say, "I love you, Barry," after killing his significant other, after threatening his family, how do you process how you're going to play that? I'm just really interested to.
You know what? Here's what I learned. No matter how I process it, Bill has a very distinct vision in his head. He is the writer, the creator, the producer, the director, and my scene partner. And it is my job to help fill in the colors of his vision. And it is never what I envisioned. I'm telling you that, he ratchets it up take after take. And you don't know. I don't know. As an actor, I don't know. Am I going to get there? And he is so generous and so clear, and in structure comes freedom. And then he drops me in, and then hopefully I swim to the surface.
Can you share a little more about that process, Henry? Is it suggestions like, hey, maybe try it like this, or how do you think Gene feels at this moment?
It's all of it. Something you do inspires him to say, hey, let's go here. Or, you know what, just do this for me. Just take it to up another notch. So it's everything combined. Some of it he does on the fly, and some of it he has in his mind.
Do you think there is a small part of Gene that even in that moment, in later moments, still has some kind of affection for Barry, or even maybe recognizes as could be PTSD? Is there any kind of...
You mean when I'm on that couch?
Yeah, or in that dining room scene where he's being forced to say "I love you." I mean, yeah.
Where I ran home and I said, "Hey, we're leaving."
Sure. Yes. Yeah. It's that
my
episode.
grandson.
Yeah.
No. I was not prepared for how scared I would be turning around and seeing him with his arm around my grandson, knowing how mercurial he is. I mean, that was, whoa, that just took me to another rhythm. I came in running, excited, and again, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And when I turned around and I saw Bill Hader and my grandson on that couch, my entire inner body just dropped like a ton.
So it's fair to say that setting it up like that, where the family is involved, Does it fair to say that it makes it easier on the actor because there's no going back from your family being threatened? There's no looking for good qualities in someone when they threaten your family, right?
There is no good quality at that moment. There is only the knowledge you have of him. And now, especially since I now know that he has ripped the love of my life out of my life. He has shot her dead. And then when I see this scene, I think, oh my God, he's capable of anything.
The scene where Gene apologizes to a production assistant for throwing hot coffee in his face in the past.
Yeah.
It kind of, you could surmise that he's turned a corner, but kind of knowing what we know about Gene, is it that, or is it like, oh, this makes me look good? Is it, how did you, I know you can't kind of think too much about the character and how the character is viewed, but
no, but remember this. It's not so much that I've turned a corner. In the next chair is my assassin.
Right.
And remember, he says in that scene, what do you say, Mr. Cousineau? And like a robot, I say, thank you. So there's that dynamic going on. So if there is at that moment redemption, it is, it's like a tadpole. It's an unformed frog. It doesn't have legs yet.
Last question I wanted to ask you, Henry, is just this role of Gene Cousineau. When you look back at the already incredible career you've had, how does this role factor in? What has it meant to you personally? What does it mean to your career?
Okay, so, okay. So, one, at this stage in my acting career, most men are sitting at home. And I, at 76, am having the time of my life. No matter what age I am, no matter when I got this, the material is exceptional. I mean, it just is. There is a policy on the set with Bill and Alec and Aida Rogers, who is our fearless leader. No assholes. There's a no asshole policy, and they have stuck to it, and they have done it. And so it's just, I pinch myself, that expression, oh, I have to pinch myself to remember that this is really happening. I'm living that pinch.